In this EliteWorks tutorial, we're going to be going over the menu widget and how to add proper navigation to our website. Now, in order to access the menu widget, we're going to go to our widget menu on the left-hand side, and we can simply search menu, and we're going to find our menu widget, and we're going to go ahead and drag it into our website. Now, by default, it's going to have a couple pages: home, about, and FAQ. Now, there's a lot of styling that goes into the menu widget. It's going to be one of your most widely used, but once you have it set up kind of the way you like it, you won't necessarily alter it or change it. But to go ahead and set up our menu, first of all, we want to kind of create the links that of the pages that we want to go to. And the way that we do that is, again, remember, we control our the settings on how our widgets work through the standard settings menu. So if I click on settings, you're going to see I get kind of the menu builder. Now from here I can add a new link, and it's going to pull up our standard linking, and I can select a particular page, system page, product category, blog, or custom. Now custom is going to be a specified URL. So let's say, for example, I want to link to another website. I can go ahead and I can link to another website by pasting the URL into this box. For now, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to create a dummy header that gives us a drop down. So let's say, for example, we want to create something that's called a product, and then inside product we have a sub menu that we have our products listed. Now we'll also utilize custom in order to do that. So if I select custom, I'm going to give it a title, and I'm going to call it products, and then I'm going to click done. Now I've got products, but notice I didn't link it anywhere. So if I click on the edit button to view my link, I have no link there. So if someone clicks on it, it's not going to take them anywhere, because the desired function for this is to create that drop down menu. So if I go ahead and let's add a new link, and I'm going to go to products. Now let's select product 1, we'll add it. Let's go to product 2, and then let's add product 3. Add product 3. Now let's give it a name, product 3. And then we need to name these two as well. So let's go to product 2, let's put in our title. Now the title is what's going to show up in the menu itself, so it's important for you to establish a title, or else it's not going to show. And product 1. Now if I click done at this point, you can see that my menu is now showing links to all my products. Okay, now what if I want to put product 1, 2, and 3 underneath products as a submenu? Well, I'll go back to settings, and all I do is I click on the handle and I drag it underneath products. So as I move them over, and now if I click done and double click, you can see when I hover over products, it now creates a submenu. Very easy to do. So from here, let's say that this is what we have, and I want home, about, FAQ, and then I've got my products. Now I need to stylize my menu and change how it looks. Right now it looks very, very plain. The sizing looks a little bit off. So from here, I'm going to go to styles. Now styles, the widget container is what includes the green area, or in the entire box around the menu. So if I wanted to change, let's say, the background color for all of the items behind it, you can see that I have created it black. Now why is this section white? Well, if I go to the menu container, which is inside that widget container, you can see the background set to white. So if this were, say, transparent or didn't have a color, you can see how it pulls the color from the back. Just like our sections, rows, and columns, you have depth to the design of each widget. Now let's go back to our widget container, and let's say we want to just make it transparent. So we can set our transparency all the way down, and then within our menu container we're also going to set our transparency all the way down, so it just pulls the color of the page that we're using. Now a lot of where you're going to be changing your styles with the menu widget is going to be in this menu items. That's going to control the actual words of your menu. So let's kind of go through what we can change. So the first thing is spacing. Now, with all of our widgets, the items that you can change here are the same, dependent upon if that widget utilizes that particular style item. So with padding, if I click on my gear, I can actually view the different ways I can add spacing. So let's go ahead and I'm going to do to the sides, and as I increase this, you can see that it spaces out between each one of the words. So we'll put it at 15 and I'll click done. And I'm going to leave the spacing as it is for now right there. Now let's say I want to go to now text. So let's go through some of the different text options that we can utilize. So for fonts, of course, we can pick our font that we want, pretty standard. And then here we have our sizing. Now, typical sizing on a website you're going to want for your menu is going to be between 16 and 18. So if we go to 16 and 18, we'll do 18 here. And then our text weight, we can do normal. And then text transform. What text transform is it doesn't matter what I've typed in our titles before. If I click uppercase, it'll put all of them uppercase. So let's go ahead and we'll do uppercase, and then let's pick a color for our menu. Now I'm gonna do a kind of a darker gray, so we'll just slide this up a tiny bit. We can see the menu changing here. And then we're not gonna worry about, so text align, we can do center, left, or right, which is fine. And then we've got our text shadow. So if we want to add shadow to the words, we can, or if we want to add glow to it, we can. We're going to leave them as 0 for now though. So we've got our text changed. Now from here with text, we can go to our background. So if we want to change, now this is just behind the items themselves, we're going to leave it as white, and then we are going to we can adjust with a border. Now I've had a lot of individuals ask me, well, how do I get, let's say, a underline when I hover over a menu item? Well, anytime we deal with something that's going to be in the hover, we want to change in the hover styles. So if I set a border here, okay, or all the way around, or if I just want to do a border underneath, I do it underneath the item, and I'll do like a 2 pixel and done. Now you can see that we have a border in our menu item, but let's say I want to address it so that it's only on hover. Let's go back to our styles, menu items, and we're going to go to border, and we're going to remove our border. Now to get to our hovers, of course, we come to our hover style on the left hand side, and then we're going to go to border, and then here let's give it a bottom border of just, let's say, 2, and we're going to click done. Now let's go ahead and go view live, and you'll notice, oh, let's publish it and then view live. Now as I have my menu, notice when I hover, you can see that I now have a underline over that particular item, just utilizing the border. Now if I go back to my menu, you could see that we have a color, which is kind of a lighter green color. Now if I go to my styles, and let's say I want to change that, I go to hover, and then I go to my text, and let's change the color to, let's say, our teal blue. And if I click done, now when I hover over, you can see it's my teal blue on the word. So that's how I can address how it looks, or on the hover effect. Now when you're creating your menu, you're going to go through each one of these menu items here, and you're going to just simply address the way that you want it to look. Now if I go to hover styles and go to border, let's go ahead and take it off, and then now it won't have the border. And if I drag this up, now let's say I want to change my submenu container, so my menu items. So if I go into it and I go to spacing, now I might want to make this by default bigger. So if I go to, let's say, 98 and double click, and you can see now how much padding I have inside the menu. Well, that doesn't look very good. We want to address it so that it extends the width so that the one is underneath the product. So let's go back to our styles and go to our submenu container. We're going to take the spacing back down, do 5, and then I'm going to go to my submenu container, and I got spacing here. Now here I can establish my width of the items that I want. So if I drag out to, like, let's say 165 and hit done, now you can see how much wider of a space I have in the submenu. So if I've got longer titles or longer items that are within the submenu, we can extend that out. Now if I want to adjust the color, I do it exactly the same way that you would do that with a standard menu item. So if we go back to styles and we go to our sub menu item, we're going to go to text, and then we can go to color. We can leave it the dark gray. If we want to adjust hover, remember we click on hover, we go to text, and then from here I can change the sizing, and then we can change the color of the text, and let's make it our teal blue, and we're going to click done. So now if I double click, you can see on hover it gets bigger when I hover it, and it changes to our teal blue. So as you're kind of getting familiar with the menu items, just remember that you break it down based off of how you want it to be adjusted. If you want to apply different settings that we've created or different themes to this, you can click on your themes item and you can access the themes that we've created. You can also create your own once you've created it by going through the styles menu and clicking on the save button. This will save all your changes and let you use it across multiple pages. If you have more questions on that, take a look at our themes video. Well, that gives you just kind of some basic information into the menu widget. Hopefully you find it helpful. And as always, if you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to our support group. We're happy to help, and we will see you guys in the next video.